you'll have to plan for when you're going to retire early, or you'd like to retire early, is how your early retirement will impact your Social Security retirement benefit. You might already know, and if you don't, your Social Security benefit is based off of your highest 35 years of earnings. So the more years you work and the higher your earnings, the Social Security Administration is going to take your highest 35 years adjusted for inflation and use that to calculate your retirement benefit. Now, what if you work less than 35 years? How will that impact your Social Security benefit? Well, when it comes to Social Security, to receive a retirement benefit in the first place, you have to work at least 10 years or 40 quarters. So if you're somewhere between 10 years and 35 years, somewhere in the middle, how will that actually impact the benefit? So one of the things that you need to do, or maybe the first step to figure out your Social Security, how your retirement's going to impact your Social Security benefit, is to go to the Social Security website and set up an account and get a projection of your Social Security benefit. Once you have your online account, it's going to show you your historical earnings, the earnings history that they have on file for you, and it's going to give you a projection of what your Social Security benefit will be if you claim at 62, 67, your full retirement age, or age 70 if you delay and get a bump up in your benefit. So that's very helpful, and it's the starting point. Now, the issue with using that number is that projected number for age 67, for example, that number assumes that whatever you earned last year, you are going to continue to earn that amount of money all the way up until full retirement. So let's say that you're 50 years old and you'd like to retire at age 55. You know you're not going to continue to work until age 67. So you might be looking at that benefit and saying, hey, I'm probably going to wait until 67 to take my benefit. But if I stop working now, how do I know what my benefit will actually be? So on the Social Security website, there's a calculator page where we can go in and enter in your earnings history to come up with a better estimate of your retirement benefit, if you wait to claim it until full retirement age. So that's what I'm going to go over in this video, walk you through step by step, and show you some tricks that I use to help come up with a better estimate on the Social Security page. So let's jump over to it. All right, so here we are on the online benefits calculator page. It's kind of hard to find, so I'll just put the link to this specific page in the video notes so you can find it easier. Or if you just Google Social Security calculators and poke around on the website, you should be able to find it. So once we're here, we scroll down and it's going to ask for some basic information to get us going. So it's going to ask, what is your birth date? And for this person, I'm putting in January of 1963. Okay, the reason why we need to go in here and do a manual calculation of your benefit is because if you put in an age that you're going to stop working, let's say, here I'm going to stop working at age 55. If you do that, the calculator is going to assume that you claim your benefit at age 62. Now, you may decide to claim your benefit at age 62, but really what we want to know is, if I stop working at age 55, how will that impact my benefit if I choose to delay it until age 67, for this person, their full retirement age. And then once you have that baseline number, then you can play with all sorts of scenarios about claiming it early, claiming it later. So really the step here is to just get at how will early retirement impact your full retirement age benefits. All right, so the next step is you're going to have to go in and put in your earnings year by year. And if you've never, in order to do this, I'm going to show you a letter of, a Social Security benefit letter, so you can see, what you would do, where you would go to get this information. Okay, so here's a benefit letter for a retiree born in 1963, and you can see on here we have the projected full retirement age benefit at age 67, $3,337 a month. But if you're going to claim early, how's that going to impact it? That's what we're here to figure out. So to find your earnings history, we're going to go down. On the second page of this letter, it gives you a breakdown of your earnings going back as far as Social Security has info for that. So I'm going to show you how to go and put this in. Before we go back over to the Social Security page and start entering in this info, I want to highlight a couple of things. You'll notice that if you look back in previous year, the further back you go in your earnings history, Social Security will kind of group years together in 10 and 5-year increments. So here we have between 1966 and 1980, this worker had a earnings of 2,817. I'm going to look at this one now. Between 1981 and 1990, they had an earnings history of 121,000 and so forth. So, all right, so looking at this retiree's earning history, you can see that once we get back previous to 2006, instead of giving us a year-by-year breakdown on benefits, it's giving us years in brackets of time. So when we enter, or I should say, so what this is saying, let's look at this first one here, 2001 through 2005. We have a total, and we're going to be looking at this bracket here, the social earnings tax for Social Security. It says $336,000, 747. So that's not saying that this worker was earning $336,000 per year for those 5 years. What it's saying is that over that 5-year period of time, that was the total amount of earnings. So the way that we translate that into the online calculator is you'll take this number that's in this column here, and you're going to divide it by the number of years for that bracket. So we'll take 336,747 divided by 5 years between 2001 and 2005, and that gives us $67,349. So for 2001 through 2005, you'll put in $67,349 per year, and you'll do the same thing going back for all the different sections. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the numbers in and go from there. All right, now for our retiree, I went ahead and put in all of their earnings history, went through all the 10-year brackets, and then once we get to 2006 in this retiree's case, then we go year by year. So now to estimate the Social Security benefit at full retirement age if they retire at age 55. So the first thing you'll want to do is you'll have to come back here to age at retirement, and you're actually going to put in, even though you want to retire at 55, you're going to put in your full retirement age. So we'll put in 67, so we can kind of trick the calculator into giving us the right number. And then we'll come down here. Even though this, in this retiree's case, they stopped working several years ago, and but we can't put in zeros for these numbers where they're not going to work. So in order to kind of trick the system and to give us the number that we're looking for, what you'll have to do is for each of these years that you don't plan to work, you have to put in something. So, okay, so for this retiree, they actually have already retired at about age 55. And so on their benefit letter, it actually shows $0 of earnings going all the way back 2018 forward. So if you're still working right now, your benefit letter is going to have numbers for all these years. That's fine. Go ahead and put in the numbers that it actually says. But this is where you'll need to put in a different number to get the right estimate. So it's going to ask you, enter the amount you expect to earn in 2024. You can put in your best estimate of what you think is realistic. And then it's going to say benefit or earnings going forward. How much do you think you're going to earn? So even though we can't put a 0 here, we have to put something so that the calculator will assume so that the calculator won't give us the age 62 benefit. We want it to give us the age 67 benefit. So trust me, $1 a year of earnings is not going to have a material impact on your benefit, but it will give us a better estimate than what's on the letter. So now we hit calculate our benefit. Okay, so now come down here and we'll have some information. So we're insured. This retiree has enough for Social Security benefits. They're insured for survivor benefits. This retiree happens to not be insured for disability benefits. Okay, so here's the number we're looking for. Your monthly retirement benefit at their full retirement age is going to be $3,375 a month if they wait until age 67 to claim their benefit. And this assumes that they are not going to be working and adding to their earnings history for Social Security. And so this is going to give the retiree a more accurate estimate of their benefit if they decided to retire early and claim their benefit at age 67. One last thing that I'll add to this is that this number shown here, this does not include cost of living adjustments. So the other thing that you're going to have to do is once you have this benefit number, you'll have to adjust it for inflation between the time that you run the calculation and the year that you'll be turning age 67. So for example, if that's going to be 10 years from now, you're going to want to do a future value calculation and say, if this number compounds at 2% a year or 3% a year, essentially factoring for the cost of living adjustments that Social Security is going to give you, what will this number be at age 67? And then that's the number you can use if you want to use it if you want an inflation adjusted number, that's how you would do that. So I hope that was helpful walking through that calculator and showing you how to estimate your Social Security retirement benefit if you are planning on an early retirement. When it comes to retirement planning, be it early or not, good planning is done based on good information. And so with Social Security being a core component of just about every retirement plan, this is the way that you can get more accurate numbers for your planning. So I hope this has been helpful. I'll catch you next time.